Hi there, I'm going to show you the Esx24 sampler. It's a virtual sampler, software sampler that stood the test of time. It's been around in Logic, it's pretty useful, and it's also pretty good as a synthesizer as well. But today, just going to introduce you to it and how to get started. So I've got an instrument open already, a software instrument. I'm going to go over to instruments, load it in as a stereo instruments. You've got other options, we'll just go for that for now. I tend to make my stuff big like this as well. You can see there's a lot going on. It's got various filters, envelopes, LFOs, quite a lot of controls on it. It's pretty good. First thing I tend to do is go to the edit page to set myself up. Now, if you haven't got the edit button, that's either because you've got Logic Express, which means you can't really watch the rest of this video, or it means you haven't set up your advanced tools in Logic, which would be over here. Okay, preferences, advanced tools, and then you just enable all when you get there. So we're going to go to the edit page, and we see the back end of the sampler here. Okay, what we've got is the keyboard. This empty space is where you would load all the samples, so it's an infinite list of possibilities, and each one of the headings is the various parameters, the various things you can change about it, the samples that you load in. So I'm going to go to zone, and I'm going to actually, I'm not going to go to zone, I'm going to go to instrument and save as. So I'm not even creating anything, but I want to give it a name. And I'm going to call it Richard something, Richard. Okay, save. Bam. So that's now an instrument called Richard. Okay, there it is. Go back to the edit page. Different ways to put the samples in. If you've got your samples organized and you know what you want to do, then when you go to zone, which is where I was going to go next, load multiple samples, you just go to wherever you've got your samples, pile them all into this list, and click add. Esx24 will ask you if it wants you to let it organize the samples for you, which is what I tend to do. And by that I mean whether you want it to allow it to let all the samples just load up one by one across the keys like this. If you see my mouse here, I haven't got that today, so I'll show you the other way of doing it. Quick way, I'm just going to go over to the loops library, and I've got some vocals, well, the vocals from the loops library, and I'm just going to drag a few in like this, okay? Just so you can hear them, before I drag one in, yeah, just so I've got those samples. Right, you see these blue lines appearing? The samples have appeared across the whole keyboard, all of them, okay? They're down here, and they're up here, and here. Yeah, following the pitch of the keyboard. And you'll notice this tick here means that the samples follow the pitch of the keyboard. If you take that off, that means the samples will be the same wherever you play them. Yeah. Now what we've got, of course, is a sandwich of samples all playing at the same time, which we don't want. I want to hear them individually. So I'm going to go to the key range, and I'm going to start them at C1, which is usually a typical place to start. Okay, that's the first one. So I'm just doing the low and the high. Key range for the second one, bam, there it goes, and the high. Key range for the third one. So I'm just scrolling the mouse up till I'm watching the blue line at the same time, till I get them to be where I want them to be on the keyboard. So now they're here. You'll notice that it only plays for the length of time that I play the key. I'm doing this with the mouse, but it could be my keyboard as well. Yeah. Next thing I want to show you is one shot. One shot means that you don't have to have a long MIDI note to trigger it, but you have to watch out because if you've got a long sample, it means you can't stop it. Okay, you have it on one shot and just click it quick. Okay, it plays the whole thing. Usually I don't want that. Usually I want my one shot off so I can control. Yeah, I've got control over it. I can reverse the sample. Yeah, we know about the pitch, playback. We can, just going over quickly some of the things, we can coarse tune it, fine tune it. Very subtle tuning there. So there's a lot of control over it. That's it in a nutshell. I've made those changes to the instrument, Richard. So I'm just going to go instrument save to update it. And there it is, okay, ready to play back. We'll look at the synthesis of those sounds on another video. But if I was to close my Esx24 now, just to show that it's definitely there, go back to it, Esx24 sampler. It's probably, you're going to see a few that I've made anyway. Here we go, click on this. There it is, there's Richard. And it opens. Yeah, so you generate your own instrument pretty quickly on this. Any other questions, please give me a shout and I'll see if I can make another video. Okay, see you later, bye.